My 15-year-old daughter called me crying from the farmer. 6 grown women had cornered her, yelling about how she was going to hell for not being a good sister to her father's affair. Behind it all, my ex-mother. What she didn't expect was that I still had everything. The cheating photos, the messages, even her own words. And when I dropped the truth on her precious church, oh, the fallout was glorious. I'm 46, widowed. I've got 2 daughters, 17 and 15. And ever since my ex-husband passed away in an accident last year, life has been complex. He died with secrets. Big one. He left behind 2 sons, born from an affair he'd been having while still married. Their mother, she died in the same accident, which meant suddenly 2 orphan boys and a lot of rage, grief, and pain dumped right on our doorstep. My daughters were the ones who discovered the affair. They found the texts, the pictures. They told me. That betrayal tore our family apart, and when he died mid-divorce, everything just exploded. His parents, my ex-in-laws, were devastated. But instead of processing their grief or facing the truth, they did what narcissists often do. They projected. They blamed us, me and my daughters, for everything, for the divorce, for their son's cheating, for his death, even for abandoning his illegitimate sons. And that's where the war began. First, they tried to get custody of my daughters. Yes, after years of being lukewarm grandparents at best, they wanted full custody. We're still in court over that. Then they tried to move in with us, claimed they needed help, claimed we owed it to them. That door slammed shut real fast, but nothing compared to what happened on my youngest daughter's birthday weekend. There's this big open-air farmers market we love. It's sort of a tradition. Fresh fruit, eggs, pastries, little handmade trinkets. She loves it. So I gave her a little birthday budget and told her to go wild. She giggled and ran off while I waited by one of the stalls with my older daughter. About an hour later, my phone rang. My daughter was crying. "Mom," she sobbed, "some old ladies won't let me leave. They're yelling at me." My heart stopped. We ran. We found her near a baked goods stand, cornered by 6 elderly women. Yes, 6, all towering over her, all hurling shame and Bible verses like stones. They said she was unchristian, that she was a wicked daughter, that she was selfish and denying the love of her baby brothers, all because she didn't want a relationship with her dead father's affair kids. My girl was frozen, crying. My eldest immediately rushed to her and helped her gather her things. I stepped forward and, in no uncertain terms, tore those women to pieces. I knew them. Some of them were from the church my ex's parents still attended. They accused me of turning my daughters against their grandparents, of refusing to obey like a proper Christian wife. One of them actually said, "You failed your husband and now your girls are failing you." I nearly lost it. Eventually, the confrontation got loud enough that we were all asked to leave the market. These women followed us like vultures all the way to our car, still spewing venom. Once home after the girls went to bed, I finally connected the dots. I reached out to a friend who still goes to that church. He confirmed it. My ex Emil had posted a long, dramatic sob story in the church Facebook group, publicly. She claimed we had left them destitute, homeless, heartbroken, said my daughters were cruel and cold, that we abandoned their poor baby grandsons, that I refused to help and destroyed the family. But here's the kicker. She also claimed that the affair kids were actually surrogates, that I was supposedly infertile, so we used a surrogate, and then I rejected the boys because they were male. Absolutely revolting. And the worst part? It was working. The church's more extreme members were circling her like saints, offering money, food, rides, comfort. She weaponized grief and shame and aimed it at my kids. But there was one fatal flaw in her plan. This church may overlook bigotry and control, but they are brutally unforgiving about infidelity. It's a core sin in their doctrine. Man or woman, cheat and you're exiled. And she knew that, which is why she lied. But what she didn't know was that I kept everything. When my ex and I were separating, I'd kept digital and physical records of everything, not just for legal reasons, but because I knew one day the truth might need defending. And now, that day had come. I spent my day off making magic. First, I printed everything. Photos of my ex and his affair partner, kissing on our living room couch, screenshots of their text conversations full of I love yous and plans, Messages from his parents encouraging the affair and harassing me during the divorce. Screenshots of them calling my daughters bastards and saying they killed their father by tearing apart the family. Some of the worst messages came just 2 days after his funeral. Then I crafted the perfect presentation. Personalized binders, styled like hymn books, glossy covers, clean fonts, organized like a sermon. And the very first image? My ex and his mistress making out. Captioned, ex-husband's love story, not sponsored by God. Early Sunday morning, I drove to the church. There's a small desk in the back where people can grab hymn books if they forget their own. No one checks them. I slid a binder into nearly every stack, some into pews, one onto the pastor's podium. Then I left. Detonation was instant. By noon, the church Facebook page was in chaos. Angry posts, screaming comment threads. Someone uploaded scanned pages. Everyone was talking. They called my ex a false prophet of marriage, called his mistress names I can't even repeat. But most shocking, they turned on my ex Mill. She was accused of covering up sin, of manipulating the congregation, attacking children, tried to delete everything, but it was too late. The gossip train had no brakes. Even the pastor had to step in, pleading for Christian civility. I received 2 formal apology letters, one addressed to my daughters. They invited us back to church for healing. No thanks. My ex-in-laws? Shunned, ghosted, humiliated. My ex-MIL made a final dramatic post about being. Sometimes the truth doesn't need a sermon. It just needs to. For my daughters, this was never about revenge. It was about being heard. And if exposing the wolves dressed as saints is what it takes, then amen to that. Call to action. Direct, emotional, and community-driven. If you've ever watched someone weaponize religion or community to bully and manipulate others, especially children, this story will hit hard. Tap that like button, subscribe, and stick around. Because sometimes the truth doesn't just set you free. It burns bridges behind you. Now it's your turn. If this story hit a nerve, smash that like button and drop a comment. But what's the most satisfying moment of justice you've ever witnessed? If you're hungry for more jaw-dropping real-life revenge, subscribe. You won't believe what's coming.